You in here?
Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Just when you look at Jalen Hurts, what are the most dramatic improvements, I guess, he's made, and how's he different from the quarterback he faced last year?
I mean, I wouldn't say Jalen Hurts is dramatically improved. I just think he's on a steady climb that you'd love to see with young quarterbacks. I mean, he's obviously in the same system now for a couple years, and I think you see the benefits of that. I think he has a phenomenal support system around him in the perimeter and has an excellent offensive line. So I just think you're seeing the maturation of Jalen and their offense.
Clarence of All-Star Telegram. How did Dak look throwing the ball yesterday, and how did it affect him today? Is it okay?
Dak had a good day yesterday. He threw post-practice, and it went well. The plan today is to have him participate in the quarterback school drills, and then he will throw again post-practice.
Why post-practice and not during practice? Just philosophy on that.
We're preparing to get ready for a game, and he's still in the rehab phase.
Ed.
Mike Edwarder, ESPN. It seems like the Eagles do a lot of screen stuff. I think they had 13 screens in the game last week, and Hurts leads the NFL in yardage off screen passes. How challenging is that to get your defense ready to play for that, and what's essential in doing it well?
The screen game is a huge challenge. I mean, obviously it's I would consider it a primary concept of theirs. The screens and in their pick game. Those are things I think they had 9 or 7 last week. So, it's the challenge you have each and every week. They do it very well. They do a really good job of fitting their action game to their run game, with the various formations. So it'll be a big challenge.
Hey, Mike. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. I know initially when Jason Peters suffered his chest injury, there were concerns that he might miss multiple games. Speaking to him in the locker room yesterday, he said, quote unquote, "I'm good." Is his availability looking good for?
Yeah, I thought he had a good day yesterday. One of his better days. So we got to find a way just to try to get him more work. I mean, that's a challenge. Particularly anytime you bring in a player as late as we brought Jason in there week 2. So. Just trying to, advance his workload and hopefully, medically, I noticed that the medical staff feels better this week than they did last week.
Haley Sutton, DallasCowboys.com. On the same lines of Jason Peters, just the experience that he brings off the field. I know Tyler Smith referred to him as the fun uncle when we spoke to him the other day. I guess, did you expect for that to be such a big impact on the sideline, a guy who's got all of this knowledge off the field as well as on the field?
Oh, absolutely. I think anytime you have a veteran, especially, with as many pelts on the walls as Jason, and their experiences, and particularly the technical experiences, and just the things that he could talk to Tyler about on a day-to-day basis. So, I think like a lot of great players in this league, there's a point in your life, especially your professional career, that you enjoy giving back, and I think Jason's in that mode right now.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio. The Eagles defense has done a great job of taking the ball away this year. Should you look at it as mainly the pressure up front, or like Slay and Reber, are they chance takers?
Well, yeah, their corners are doing a heck of a job. Slay's playing at a very high level, super instinctive and aware, does a great job matching routes, and really studying the route tree, particularly, if he matches up with CD, which is a potential expectation. Those are the things that we're preparing for, and I've coached a lot of football against him. He's an outstanding corner.
Mike, none of us knows what the offense is going to look like when Dak does come back, but at the moment, at least as you said, this is a defensive-oriented team. How hard is that to embrace or create for a guy who's spent his entire career, as you have, on the offensive side of the ball, for the defense to be the identity of your team?
Well, the focus is to be a complete team and play complementary football. So I don't want to misconstrue the point I think I made earlier in the week or last week, but the strength of our football team is our defense. We recognize that early in the process, and I think it's just like anything. You play to your strengths, and you continue to grow the other areas that need growth, and that's really where we are. We're playing a number of rookies, young players on offense, and the great part about it is early in the season they're getting a lot of opportunities to improve. But we're playing very well in special teams and defense that enables us to go through this, this particular phase. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, week in and week out, you have to find ways to win the game, and that's that's why we all work the way we do and put into it. But the big picture, you can see it the way we practice. You'll see it the way we practice today. It's about growing the whole team. So we're preparing to beat the Eagles, but we're also got to continue to develop these young players, especially on offense.
Mike, kind of a follow-up to that is this has been the success this team has had for a very long time has been offensively driven. And so that's kind of baked in on the guys who've been around. When you make the transition to more defense, do you find that the players just recognize it and they go along because they see what the strength is? Or is there, is there a transition there when it's been offensive driven so long for guys to buy in and go, well, we have to win a different way?
My personal experience has been the NFL locker room is, probably one of the most pure places that are totally engaged and on top of what the perspective is and really what the reality of the situation is. I know there's so much that goes into it, and you all do a great job trying to express the opinions of what's going on, but that locker room knows. And my point is, you're never going to fold the locker room or twist it to go a certain way if it's not real, and the reality of it is, as an offensive coach that's primarily as a head coach has had heavy offense being the lead dog, it is refreshing and the facts of the matter, to win the world championship, you have to have a top flight defense. That's been my personal experience. That's the way I came up in the league under Marty Schottenheimer. And so that was the vision of this football team from the day I interviewed with Jerry, Stephen, and the Jones family. So that's a big part of it, but we, like anything in this league, you're going to be young in certain spots of your football team. That's today's NFL. It's been that way for 2 decades, and I think that's just the reality of where we are offensively. So I love the growth that we're making, and most importantly, we're winning games. We need to continue to win games, but that's really how I look at the big picture.
John Shaw, The Athletic. Micah Parsons, I know he's on the report, is not practicing yesterday, and I know Thursday's important to you. What do you want to see from him today?
He'll do a little more today. He'll start off with Britt, and then we'll work him into the team. We're going to do significantly. We're about 25 minutes shorter than we were last week, just kind of where we are. I wanted to get more walkthrough. There's more scheme that we need to detail, and so we spend more time in the classroom, and that's why we moved practice back to noon. So, and just the point is, he should get some of the teamwork.
Mike McCarthy, Dallas Morning News. How is Josh Ball developing as a right side player of the league?
Josh is doing well. Had some good reps yesterday at right guard. So just playing both inside and outside. I think we've talked on this before. The ability for young players to focus on one side of the ball, and I think it's definitely helped him. But I really like the progress he's made.
Mike, Todd Archer with ESPN. As Cooper gets more games on film and teams can see him, how important is your self-scout of him, and how do you stay ahead of the game a little bit?
It's very important. There's not a conversation that goes on in game plan that doesn't start off with self-scout. So whether we're talking about the red zone passing game and obviously the quarterback participation, mannerisms, and tendencies are a huge part of that. So that's to me that's really part of our everyday process. But I think like anything in this league, the more you play, the harder it is. And as far as what other people can look at to compete against you, and we just got to do a good job of keeping them off balance.
We've talked in the past about keeping the starting lineup, under wraps. Why not play that game with the Eagles this week, so they can prepare for 2 quarterbacks? I'm just saying, people, we've done that last year against Minnesota. We kept that under wraps, and why not do that this year?
Do you write your own headlines, by the way? I think we're fine the way we're playing it.
Okay. It speaks to the confidence. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I think it, not to be a broken record here, I think it speaks to the medical process that you have to go through to get a player to return, and that's definitely the case with Dak. We've been very upfront as far as where he is in his rehab. So, just the facts of the matter.
With the shorter practice today than initially planned, is 9-7 still on
Oh,
the
yeah,
menu?
no, we're still full go there, yeah.
Calvin.
Is that what I cut you off, is that?
No, I mean, if you want to elaborate, feel free, but no, it's fine with me. I don't want to take away your opportunity to.
It's still 8 plays for the defense and 8 plays for the offense, so there you go.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Rico and Lawrence, will they do a little bit more?
Rico won't. D-Law's kind of in a similar plan for as Micah. You know, they'll start with the rehab group, and then we'll see where they are.
Anything serious with Rico? That you might have to do something down the line.
You know, if he can't go by Saturday, then I don't see him being available. Yeah.
Mike, yesterday I asked you about the scoring issue on offense, and talking to Zeke about that yesterday, he said you do have to score more. Eventually, you'll probably have to score more. And to fix that, he says you have to be better on third down. Your third down percentage is not where you're accustomed to it being. As you have looked at that issue, is that more a function of how it belongs, or just lack of execution on certain plays? What do you see?
Well, I think earlier the first couple games, we had favorable third downs that we didn't convert. So that's we've actually have been doing more third down team reps. We added 4 or 5 reps a day in a competitive. We've added another 8 on Saturday. So it's definitely been a focus, but really of late, it's the first and second down production. And I think when you go back to the Washington game, the 6 negative runs was definitely something that we had to overcome. So, and that's usually the case. I mean, the statistics on third down and fourth down, I mean, they speak for themselves. 3rd and 5 plus really belongs to the defense, and 4 or less belongs to the offense. And so you definitely want to be under 7 because 5 and 6 is really the real battleground in this league. So we're working on it. It's a focus of ours, but we could do a little better job in first and second down too.
Hey Mike, Jess Navarez, DallasCowboys.com. Nice to meet you. My question is how you were talking about the importance of screens and the defense preparing for the screens on the Philadelphia offense. What pose do you feel that Dallas Goedert really has going against the Cowboys defense?
Well, Dallas is a fine football player, accomplished football player, and at the end of the day, he could play in line, he can play out in space. He's definitely a matchup, as far as who they try to get him matched up in the secondary. He's got a big catching radius, very athletic. Probably moves faster than I think most people realize until you see him play live. So, he's definitely an excellent player amongst the excellent perimeter group.
Mike, with Malik Hooker and his communication skills, he seems like a quiet guy, at least in the locker room and things like that. On the field, obviously, maybe not that way.
Oh no, he's a heck of a football. I mean, just look the way he tackles. My goodness, I mean, he's the job he's done coming out of the middle of the field. And run support has been exceptional. But he has tremendous ball skills, and I think he's what you're looking for. As far as ability to go track the football and make plays. So, just a very, very high skilled young man, and he's been an outstanding addition to our football team these last 2 years.
All righty, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.